There's a Far Side comic where Larson's drawn a father and a son standing in their white picket fenced backyard. They're kind of amidst an obnoxious sea of white picket fences. And they're looking up at a bird, and the dad says, "And now, Randy, by use of song, the male sparrow will stake out his territory, an instinct common in the lower animals." Okay, so for a few weeks I've had this nagging need or desire to explore some questions for myself, and it's fun to do it publicly, and it's mostly about freedom. Maybe this is finally boiling over because of the conventions, which I haven't watched. You just know they're happening. And the fact that obviously people everywhere in these things throw around the word freedom at every opportunity. Whatever the case, it just seems relevant to the moment. And the way I look at it, it seems like freedom is kind of the driving force for a lot of human activity. It's sort of the main motivation for a lot of what we do, to have freedom. It's kind of the raison d'etre for most of the work many of us do. I guess for me, I've been asking myself, how can we really be sure it's working for us? And it seems like this is a time when we can do that tactfully. We can ask that tactfully. Is the way we measure freedom really an accurate standard? I am obviously not so sure. And hopefully, maybe you're I don't know, maybe you won't be so much as well. I think it's worth questioning. I think our idea of freedom is limiting us, to be clear. It may even be destroying our ability to actually be free, the very idea. Consider the body, consider our bodies. If we separate the various parts, so to speak, obviously the body's useless. Without a unified purpose in this moment to sit here and record this video, or some sort of unified vision, it's useless. If our feet are doing one thing and our hands are doing something else, and our eyes are looking over there, and our neck is turned over that way or turned to another way, and everything's kind of just doing its own thing, in a very real sense, there's no movement forward. In order to effectively move, everything needs to be integrated. Likewise, obviously, a body without a head simply doesn't work. And vice versa. Kind of clear, obvious, and the point really is about connection between the various parts as we think of it often. So I guess I've been asking myself, and I think it's good to ask yourself, is something more free as a result of separating and disconnecting and individuating, or by being part of the group, a whole, a unit? Probably the answer in general is neither. It's got to be both. Both matter. I've been trying to think of examples where that may not be the case, and generally it's both. So again, is our current notion of freedom fully allowing for both, for connection and disconnection? Unity and individualism? Or are we just kidding ourselves, one generation after another, to where we are now? I guess to be blunt, is the freedom to just do whatever you really want freedom? Or is that just a reflection of our collective adolescence? Yeah, of course, the ability to do whatever you want is good. Who doesn't like to be able to wake up at their own pace, have a nice slow morning, sit on the porch and drink a cup of coffee, go about their day in the way that best suits them? Obviously, that's good. Without a larger context, though, greater than just, what's best for me, aren't we just a bunch of islands pretending to be in this together? We're so wrapped up, it seems, in our own pursuits, and have been for obviously a long time, that we seemingly don't even have the space to intelligently consider and to really fully contemplate the possibility that what we think of as freedom is something of a fiction. Again, this isn't complicated to see. There simply just needs to be a way for us to balance our own ego with the group ego, and realize that to do so is not only productive, it's how we get what we actually want. It's how we actually experience being free. And therein lies the real point. Freedom is not some fortress atop a mountain. It's the foundation of being alive. We think we need to create it, and we don't. It just is. The second we start to think otherwise, though, we might as well be trying to walk with our shoes tied together. Is it possible to be free in the ways we desire? Hell yes. Absolutely. And if it isn't, we need to just aim for it. But in this current fantasy, is that really happening? Is that really possible? This American dream, if you will, it looks pretty suspect. Hence, the challenge before us is to declare that this is not balance. Yes, there is so much to value about where we are. For God's sake, there's so much to value about where we are and about this country, if we're thinking of this country. That's one scale, of course. And of course we can do better. If enough of us have the courage and the will to explore a new path and the intelligence to maintain a nuanced perspective and point of view, one which simply respects the truth that we can do better, then we can. And as the saying goes, not just for some, but for all. And doesn't it have to be for all? That's the point. Otherwise, what good is it? What good is a head without a body? What good is a body if the parts don't function together? If they don't communicate and move in unison? If they don't connect? What good is life if we can't connect? If we don't have heart? It seems like we honestly barely know freedom at all. A lot of us. Too many of us. The ability to feel the flow of life through us, guiding us, leading us in our just through us, all the way into the essence of us. With an awareness of all. Isn't that our human potential? It is our human potential. I'm saying it is. That's our human nature. That is what makes us superior, or divine, if you will. Special. And, of course, the funny thing is, in its own way, that's what the sparrow probably experiences as it sings its song. It's being a sparrow. The boundaries upon its freedom are naturally itself. So what are the boundaries to authentic human freedom? Forget intellect, forget politics, just allow it. It's bigger than our imaginations. And it seems like our current idea basically it's like putting picket fences around our soul.